Welcome to the Language Learners Lounge podcast, where we discuss and learn more about the wonderful world of learning foreign languages. The views, opinions, and suggestions mentioned in today's episode are that of the hosts and guests and do not reflect any actual research unless otherwise mentioned or cited. Thank you for listening and enjoy this week's discussion. Bom dia a todos e bem-vindos. We're happy to have you guys here today. I've been on a little bit of a Portuguese high. It may be because, last week I got to use a lot of Portuguese, and this week I've got a youth at the youth camp I'm at right now who is trying to learn Portuguese. So we got an interesting episode for you guys today. Outside of the intro, it's gonna be pretty fun. So I'm excited. My name is Kyler. I'm one of your hosts,
And I'm Joshua Flood. I'm also one of your hosts.
and we're touching up on something that we slightly discussed the previous episode. The previous episode, we talked a little bit about, conjugations in verbs. That was pretty much the entire episode. But there was a moment where we spoke about past and present verbs in some languages. And so we're kind of bouncing back to that, but we're making that our general discussion, determining the past, present, and future in different languages. So we're still slightly following the conjugation train a little bit, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I remember, this is at least what I remember from the last episode, which was, of course, like 2 weeks ago that we recorded it. Because I remember in the previous episode, we spoke about the languages that had past and present specific ones like Arabic. That those have specific endings.
Yep.
But then there's also like Spanish and Portuguese where you have to do an extra conjugation. Like they don't have specific words for past or present, or even future for that matter.
Yep.
Now, at least
Yeah.
conjugating future, that's easy in Spanish and Portuguese. At
Yeah.
least that part's easy.
Yeah. Future is definitely very easy for both of them. Whether you're going to use the going to way or you're going to use the actual futuro form. They're both pretty easy for the future. Though I'd say the past is where it gets confusing for both of them.
Yeah.
Especially since there's like three, at least with Spanish and probably Portuguese too. There's like three different ways to say the past.
100%. Yeah, there are. And you take a look at what it's like in English too. There are multiple ways that we refer to the past as well, because
Mm-hmm.
there are things like it's been said, it has been said, I have said, I said, things like that.
Yeah.
I've been saying,
Mm-hmm.
another good example of why English is so difficult at times for those who are learning English for the first time. But it's interesting as I look at what the conjugations are like, because some Spanish conjugations for the past I still don't have down because of how many there are.
Yeah. There's a good chunk.
Yeah, at least for languages like Haitian Creole, conjugating past, present, and future are easy because you just add a word.
Yeah.
And
That I agree with.
yeah, that gets easy. I heard the same thing from a friend about Tahitian too. I haven't dived into Tahitian a lot to really confirm that for myself, but I've heard that from a lot of friends who have spoken Tahitian in their lives and have learned it. So before I try it myself, I'm taking their word for it.
Yeah.
And I believe, are there other languages other than those two that do that? I feel like Chinese is
I'm
another.
I might check. Let me
Because I
and
because I know it's a little bit different with Japanese as well. I haven't gotten too far into Vietnamese to know what that's like.
Mandarin does not conjugate verbs for tense. Instead, you establish a past time frame by adding specific time words like yesterday or aspect marks, such as yeah. Well, uh, or so yeah, a bit different than how a bit different than how Haitian Creole does it, but it's still kind of the same concept. You just add a word that or something like that make to make it sure that you're referencing the past.
I was gonna say that's what it seemed like. So at least there's still like some connection there that is like you add an extra word, but it sounds like there's like more than one word you have to add in order to like explain like distance of time frame there. So like
Mm-hmm.
so like they got one for like yesterday. I assume they got one for like just general in the past. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like they got amount of different words we could use for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's the same with the future as well in Mandarin. They just try to put context to the thing to indicate that it's in the future.
Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, that is good to know for when I start working on verbs and conjugating those on my own because those are usually the hardest part about learning a language is conjugations and memorizing those.
Yeah.
The words,
Luckily, I'd say that in terms of like the Mandarin structure and probably every other Chinese language edge is that they don't they don't ever need you to conjugate eight verbs. They just have you add a word or something like that.
yeah, yeah. So good to know Chinese, Haitian, Tahitian are kind of in the same boat when it comes to past, present, future. French I know follows somewhat the same thing as Spanish and Portuguese when it comes to past, present, future. I believe Italian does too.
Yeah, I think French does have like the whole like three past forms, but they hardly use like two of them. They only really use
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, and it makes things easy. Like I know the one that I always turn to when it comes to talking with the past is you just conjugate the subject to like avoir, and then I just
Hmm.
continue on with the infinitive form or the past participle form of the verb from there.
Yeah,
It's just what comes easiest for me, honestly. And as long
yeah,
as I'm still comprehensible, it's just gonna be my go-to.
yeah. And I think that's generally how it is. I haven't looked into Italian enough to say anything definitive on that.
From what I've seen with Italian, it's about the same. It's kind of a mixture of like the Spanish and French side. I could be wrong, but that's just what I've been noticing.
Yeah, that typically just is how it is. I mean, Italian has a lot of words that sound similar to the French. But it also has words that are similar to the Spanish Portuguese side. But that's partially because they're all from the same family. All came from Latin.
Yeah. And then there's another one that's tends to hit me a little not quite at home, but it's interesting that I just thought about this when it comes to the verbs and never decided to research until now.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I thought there was like a what's the word I'm looking for? My brain is spacing it.
I'm
Not connection. No, that is the word I'm looking for. Connection. Yeah. That is the word I'm looking for. Yeah. I thought there was a connection between the perfect and imperfect verbs in relation to like time. Because again, Arabic has two different verbs for the same verb for past and present. I thought it was the same way
yeah,
with Russian because when I'm looking through like the list of common verbs, I'm like seeing perfect, imperfect. Was that past or present? And so
yeah,
here's what I got out of it. And I would assume Polish is the same way because they also have perfect and imperfect verbs.
Yeah.
So we have, it mentions here that from RussianLessons.net. So shout out to them.
Mm-hmm.
It says every verb falls into one of two quote unquote aspects: imperfect, the process, or perfective result. So imperfectives describe ongoing habitual or incomplete actions, whereas perfectives focus on a single successfully completed action with a clear beginning or end. So,
Yeah. Sounds about right.
ooh, okay. I've now gone a little further into the reading, and it's talking about how the aspects affects the tense, like the past, present,
Hmm.
future tense.
Oh.
And so here's what I'm reading. They both have past tense forms, both aspects. So you have like imperfective, like we were to use the imperfect word for read, citat, and then also meaning to read, but it's the perfect form, the perfective form, procitat. We got those.
Mm-hmm.
So using those verbs as the example. Imperfective means I was reading or I used to read,
Mm-hmm.
while the perfective means I read and finished the book. So that's what the perfective
Mm-hmm.
implies, is that if you're saying I read the book, the perfective implies that you finished it, whereas the imperfective implies that you didn't quite finish it. And then
Yeah, I am seeing here that the imperfective can be used in all three, whereas the perfective is it can only be used in the past or in the future if like you're about done.
yeah, and then we got uh, the present tense, which only the imperfect verbs can be used in present tense.
Mm-hmm.
So the perfect ones cannot be used in present tense, which
Mm-hmm.
that's a little bit of an adjustment for me. But it helps me to remember which ones are kind of the most important to remember in
Yeah.
that sense. Well, I mean, it's important for me to know the perfect verb so that I know if I'm saying something that I did and finished, I can use it.
Yeah.
And then future tense. Imperfective uses a helper verb, budu, budish, plus the infinitive. So like budu citat, I will be reading. Oh, I missed the subject at the beginning. So let me redo that.
Yeah.
that.
It's okay. I'm only half there right now.
I'm kind of with you. Like my brain is still trying to wake up.
Me too.
So it's yeah, yeah,
Yeah, if you guys don't
budojitat.
know, we're doing this early in the morning.
Yeah, it's kind of an off-scheduled kind of day for doing this episode. So we're kind of doing this early in the morning, whereas usually we're doing this in the afternoon when we're normally a little more awake. But my availability is weird this week, so
Yeah.
so thankfully after the release of this episode, I'll be back to a normal schedule and will be as more awake or maybe a little bit slap happy in the afternoon. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, so imperfect. Я буду читать. I will be reading. The perfective conjugated just like a present tense verb, but implies a future action. So it says, я прочитаю. I will be reading the whole thing, is essentially what it implies. So I can go ahead and drop the mic there for finally learning the difference between perfect and imperfective and knowing what it's like to conjugate those in, past, present, future.
Yeah.
I think after this episode and after I do all the editing, I'm going to write that down because I don't have that in my language study journal and it needs to be there.
Yeah. I'll probably do. I don't think I have my Russian one.
I forgot you have more than one notebook for different languages.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden the flashback of what the previous episode was like when I'm just showing my one notebook and then you were like pulling one after the other off the shelf.
Yeah. I mean, I still have them right here.
Yeah, yeah, like that. Yeah.
Yep. All
So
right.
that makes things easy for learning about like perfective and imperfective in the world of conjugating past, present, and future in Russian and maybe Polish. I think the rules still apply to that.
Yeah.
I would assume so, considering they both have perfect and imperfect verbs.
Hmm. Yeah. I'd assume it is, but let me look it up.
Yeah, I haven't dived too much though into Hindi conjugations. I know I have like notes in my language study journal about it, but I haven't dived deep enough into it to say I know how it works. Let's see what he finds. Well, I guess while he's looking for that, this might actually be a good time to cover something that happened to us over the course before this episode was released. We actually had somebody reach out to us, and he's one of our listeners. He came across our podcast, but he also referred us over to an app that he designed to assist with learning languages, but also to give you more of that real life conversational experience. We're both on it right now. It's called Tandemate. We can drop the name of the app in the description below. So far, it's been working well. I still haven't run into anybody to, do the
Yeah.
conversational practice with, but so far it's actually working really well. I love it. It's essentially like a social media profile of some kind that's focused more on finding somebody to practice a foreign language with.
Hmm.
It so far works really well. It does really great at real time location tracking, so that you
Yeah.
can better find people around you who speak those languages that you are focusing on.
Yeah. Personally, I still have not seen anybody in my area either, but I have seen like you go to users like you see some from Germany, Denmark, Sweden, Belgium, Netherlands, Kiribati,
Yeah. So
eh, and Spain. So yeah, they're you can find. So yeah, if you're in those areas, you can definitely find some people. And if you if you're in the U.S., if you start today, you can probably try to increase the amount of people that we can and find, and it can be a great resource to you because one thing that it's really nice to know like who around you is learning that same language.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, and this one does also really great at helping out the English learners out there because I took a look at some of those profiles that come from like Germany or Spain, and one of their languages that they are focusing on is English, and I love this is like the number one thing I love about the app is that it helps you find people that speak specifically the languages that you are focusing on. So if you're a native English speaker, it's not going to try and connect you with another English speaker unless they connect with you to practice their English. It will
Hmm.
try to keep you looking for those who speak the languages that you are focusing on. And I love it. Like, I feel like that's like the number one thing that becomes the hardest when it comes to like finding a speaking partner in the world of language learning is finding somebody who for sure either speaks the language you're focusing on fluently or who is also learning the same language as you.
Yep.
So, if you have the opportunity, if you have the chance, look up the app Tandemate, spelled Tandemate. So, as we said, so far it works wonderfully in finding those who speak different languages to find that personal speaking partner. The person who designed it had a really great philosophy when he designed this, and I'm seeing it the more I use the app. So it is
Mm-hmm.
so amazing. I would recommend it right now. It's a great tool, honestly.
Yeah.
So, shouts out to that guy. I don't remember his name. I don't remember the
I think it was
developer's
like
name.
Benjamin something.
Yeah, it was
I'm
Benjamin
sorry.
something. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it anywhere.
Yeah, we apologize if we screwed up your name. I know he likes to listen to this podcast, so apologies if we screwed up his name by accident.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it here.
I know it, the only thing I remember is that it started with a B. But it shouldn't be too far down in the emails.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get back into it.
Ah.
There. All right, there we are. Benjamin Kuntz
Mmm.
or Kuntz,
There he is,
whichever,
yeah. University of
however
Applied
you pronounce that
Sciences.
last.
University of Applied Sciences, Salzburg, language learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, the app that's made by that guy, highly recommend. Benjamin
Yep.
Kuntz, great job on that app.
Yep. We thank
And
you a lot for it.
yeah, I look forward to continue using it, and hopefully, as I continue using it, hopefully I'll be able to report back on what the big conversational part is like. But overall, fantastic app, works really well. I would recommend it
Mm-hmm.
to all of you to download and, you know, start looking for that speaking practice partner. It's a,
Yeah,
it's a great
I
resource.
agree. I agree. And
All right. Now, what'd you find in your research?
yeah. So about all right. So I'll see if I can share. Uh,
Uh, I think I got.
here.
Yeah, I was about to say. I feel like I still
Sharing
gotta.
is yeah. Sharing is turned off.
Alrighty. I was about to say. I feel like I got to do this every time. All right. Hopefully that now I've made you the host. Hopefully that should help out.
All right. So here we
A.
have so this is kind of something I found. They do have the imperfective and perfective, but this is kind of the regular conjugation.
Conjugate the
Conjugative,
verb in the past tense. Attach endings to the verb stem. So kind of similar to how it is with like Spanish and whatnots.
yeah, yeah. So we have wham, wham,
Wham
and
wham. Lish me.
idish, gish me,
Wish me.
wish me,
Wesh.
wish,
Wash. Lishtia.
wish. Yeah.
Wishtia.
I don't know a lot of Polish, so this wow, wow,
Woli.
really,
And then
we,
we.
we. So yeah, this is kind of the regular conjugation, and this is kind of a table you if you want to see.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. Otherwise, I'm just kind of like running through them out loud.
Yeah, alternatively, the conjugation can be understood as a two-step process. The first step, like actually a tender affects to stem, wow, with
Okay. Okay. In the second step, attach the person ending. The third person has no ending, as the first step already creates the third person form. So it could be M, it could be shma, it could be esh,
Ish.
or shje.
She. 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 And
And then
then for
irregularities. Okay. Some verbs require additional changes to the stem before applying some of the endings. These verbs change the E to A and their stem for the entire conjugation, except for the plural masculine personal forms. So miech, to
okay.
have. I do remember seeing a lot of this. So I
So
do remember
yeah.
seeing a lot of this where for miech it instead turns into like mia instead of mia. So miawem, miawam, mialishma, miawishma, miawesh, miawash,
Yeah.
miawishtia,
Yeah.
miawishtia, miaw, miawa, miawo, miali, and miawa. All right.
Yep. And for Val one, I don't know. I don't know how you do the value
Yeah, that
vowels
one.
then. Yeah, I don't know that one.
Yeah, usanouch. Usanouch, I believe is how you say it. To remove. So singular masculine form, you do usanau. For the rest of the forms, it's usane. So that's going to be interesting.
Mhm.
Usanawin, usanewin, usanelishmi, usanelishmi, usanawesh, usanawash, usanelishche, usanelishche, usanau, usanawa, usanawo, usaneli, usanawa. Okay. And then verbs
Yep.
ending in the sh or just the straight up c. Like mots. These verbs use the stem from the present test first person. I see. Okay.
Mhm.
So like spashed, quashed, mots. Gotcha. So Polish is a little bit more difficult than I imagined. At least,
Yeah. At least in the past tense, I don't know. Let's look.
I was about to say,
Let's look at the future.
we're already going down this rabbit hole.
So yeah,
Future simple. Wait. Now there's a future simple tense. All right.
might
Well,
get from what it looks like. There's a simple tense and continuous tense.
if
Oh
we
no, this. Let's hope this isn't the most confusing form of future.
we got future simple tense, which looks fine, but I'm pretty sure if we keep scrolling down, we'll be able to see if there's like a complex way of doing it. If there's like an extra
Yeah,
means to it.
future
So
tense
future tense
continuous.
continuous. Okay. Express continuous unfinished activity. Okay.
So it sounds similar to like the imperfective and perfective form of Russian in a small way.
The only difference that I'm noticing is that, especially with the past tense, you have first person, second person, and third person forms that you got to conjugate to as as well as masculine and feminine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually pretty fascinating, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm in for a lot more when I start to like memorize the conjugations for verbs, so that I'm able to speak Polish for myself. Like that's, whew,
Yeah.
it gonna be interesting.
Yep.
But I have faith in myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure you can do it. And maybe I can do it too whenever I get around to it.
All right. Also, plural forms. There's also that. So
Yep.
not completely like Kinyarwanda, but it might feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
All very interesting. Shouts out courseofpolish.com, man.
Yep.
Shouts out
Words of
them.
Polish. Yeah, shout out. Yeah. So, is there any other language that you want to look up?
I'm not sure. Those are kind of the biggest ones that I had in mind, really. Like
Yeah.
I knew past, present, future wasn't going to be a huge one that we were going to touch up on, but we definitely did go through some rabbit holes and definitely did like lengthen out the discussion a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'd say it was a job well done.
Yep. I think the only ones that I'd like to look into, like just kind of real quick, we're probably just gonna do the probably just gonna look at the what the Google AI overview says is for them for sake of time.
Yeah. Well, now this makes me overly curious.
So I'll just share my screen one more time.
Let's see it. Let's see what this
Yeah.
introduction is.
All right.
We got.
So yeah, Japanese actually only has two grammatical tenses,
Yeah.
past and non-past. The non-past tense comes both present, what you are doing or doing habitually, and the future, what you will do. Context and time words like tomorrow determine the exact meaning. So, but that's interesting to know. That make
But then you also, as I'm looking at it, there's the polite and informal form. It's like tabimasu, I will and I eat and I will eat. And then
mhm.
informal, taberu, I eat and I will eat. Different different forms. One's more polite, one's more informal. But it's
Yeah. I think that's depending on the context of who you're talking to, because like
oh for sure.
if you don't know Japanese, it's very honorific, and I think Korean's similar too.
Yeah, Korean's a pretty honorific language too.
Yeah. And then, okay, so here we have the past tense. So the polite form will be
Tabemashita,
mashita, tabemashita, and
I
then
ate and
tabeta.
so really,
So,
so really, it's
yeah,
just like an extra addition to some things. And when it comes to Japanese, how to express exact future. Because the non past form covers both present and future, context is key. If you want to clarify when an action happens, you simply add a specific time phrase to the beginning of the sentence. For example, tomorrow I will eat sushi. Watashi wa ashita sushi o tabemasu. Okay.
yeah.
And
So
then,
I'm
ooh,
I'm just gonna presume that the ashita is like tomorrow.
I assume so because you have the watashi wa, which is, of course, I. And then sushi, we already covered that. Tabemasu is eat.
Eat. And I think the O is just a connection, like how wa is a connection between the subject and the object.
Yeah.
So
So
it seems like it has,
ashita has to be tomorrow.
yeah, and yeah, it seems like it has is kind of like how Chinese likes to say the time before most other things. And it seems like Japanese has something similar.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And then you have what I see about exact present there, where it talks about I am eating. You use the teiru form
they,
instead of the standard present form. So tabete imasu, I am eating right now for polite, and then for informal tabete iru, I am eating right now.
they. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
So yeah. And some of this comes from Preply 8020 Japanese Web Japan Online and Japanese Pod 101. So thank you all for the resources.
yeah,
We'd look more into them, but for the sake of time, this is just easier.
yeah, we'll look into them a little bit deeper on our off time, like when we're not recording. But otherwise, this gives us a good start for
Yep.
stuff like this. So,
All
and
right.
then we got
So
Korean.
Korean tenses are formed by stripping them of verbs whose dictionary ending
Okay.
ta to get the stem and attaching specific tense and politeness marks. Conjugations do not change based on who is speaking. only by when the action happens and your desired level of formality. Here it is how to conjugate the most common polite conversational form.
Ayo and
Ayo,
ayo.
oyo,
Using the verbs
using the word
gada
kada,
and
mil,
mokta.
mil, 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 yeah,
Mokta, yeah.
map.
Close enough.
All right. If the stems vowel is or will add
And
uh,
ayo.
ayo. Otherwise, is oyo. I
Mm.
don't know.
So you have ayo and ayo to use.
Oyo.
Okay. So if the stem's last vowel is a or o, you add the ayo. The ayo, I meant. And then otherwise you add the ayo in there. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
So examples. Examples. We got gada. Gayo. I am going. And then we have mokta. Mokta. Mogayo. Mogayo. I
Mm-hmm.
eat. I am eating.
Mm-hmm. And here's our pass.
Asayo. Okay. So we have as and asayo for the past. Follow the same vowel rule as the present tense, but add asayo or asayo for verbs ending in hada. Conjugate to hesayo.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, gasayo.
Gasayo, I went, and then magasayo, I ate. And then future tense. If the stem ends, I was about to combine verb and stem. That was about to be bad. It was about to come out as sturb instead. So
Mm-hmm.
let's curb stomp that combination. If the verb stem ends in a vowel, you add. Ooh, this is interesting. So you add the gallo. If it ends in a consonant, add orgallo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So wow. I'm getting language whiplash here.
Yeah.
Galgayo, I will go, and then Mogul Gayayo, I will eat.
Yep.
Okay, so interesting.
So yeah, that's Korean. So yeah, probably this learn Korean in 90 days. As LTL Korea shot this other night. Yeah, and Preply and Busu. You yeah, shout out to all those. But we can probably look more into them in our free time. Probably other resources down here, like the screen class and how to study Korean. So yeah,
For sure, yeah.
definitely definitely we can look more into this in our free times, but I think this is good enough for now.
Yeah, I mean, we got a really good discussion in.
Yeah.
And, I'd say this is a good place to close off the episode, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a lot of research in, we got a lot of discussion time in, it was great. So, we thank you guys for listening in. We are very appreciative of your continued support for this podcast. We are very quickly nearing 10 episodes, which is crazy to us. So
Yeah, this is like episode 8, isn't it?
this is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Almost
episode
to our
8.
10th episode. Yeah.
So we really thank you guys for joining in on this episode. Thank you guys for tuning into this discussion, this little bit of a learning session for all of us. And yeah, hopefully we get to see you guys in our next episode. And so with that, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Adios, mis
Au revoir.
amigos.
Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen.
Dos pidania.
Goodbye.
thank you for listening to this week's episode. If you have a suggestion for what you want us to discuss, please leave us a message either through our email or through social media. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope you sit with us again in the Language Learners Lounge.